Hello, hi, welcome to Wellness Wednesdays. Hey Dane, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Hi, welcome to Wellness Wednesdays and welcome to my new office and my new home. As I mentioned last week, I was in the process of moving, so we have finally settled in the new place and I'm just so excited to have my own office. I've been anxiously putting everything together, and whoever has moved knows how much work and energy and effort that is. But it's such an excitement also that I'm just looking forward to organizing everything, and I'm also looking forward to see what this new space and just new energetic whole being would do to me. Hi Joni, welcome to my new office. Would do to me, and in terms of creativity, in terms of new ideas, new projects, and everything that is coming in the next few months, in the next year, and even longer than that. So welcome to my new space and to the first live, which is actually episode 9, but the first live from here. So I'm super excited to host you guys and to chat a little bit about, I have prepared, as I said last time, over the next few weeks, we will be doing mini series of just briefly going over the things that are the vital principles of our life or higher quality of life. But before that, I wanted to mention, I always like to talk a little bit of astrology. So I wanted to say that it's a full moon tomorrow and it's the first full moon of the year. So it's kind of like a special one. And I would just recommend to be mindful of your thoughts and of your actions and of your energies and just overall feeling. It's a great time right now to be releasing, to be forgiving to yourself and to those around you. It's kind of like a karmic cleanse almost in a way. So it's just a great time for that, to also manifest and welcome creations and abundance into your life and everything else that you want to come for you this year. I enjoy very much every moon and every cycle, and I was lucky enough to see that I can see the moon through my window, so I feel blessed. And also I just wanted to say that I've been feeling so much abundance in my life and so many blessings coming through, and I definitely realized that when I practice what I preach and when I decided to raise my standards in terms of my environment, my life, my circle, my investment on time and energy and everything that comes with it, then magic started happening and everything started flowing the way that I wanted. And it's just such an incredible thing that if you are somewhere where you haven't quite upgraded yet, but you know that you can, because you always can, then I would definitely suggest to just give yourself that push on the back, go for it and see what's going to come out of it. So that was just wanted to tell you where I'm standing at right now and what is going on here, and I'm just so incredibly excited and so much looking forward to, hey Taylor, good to have you here, to see everything that is going to be coming from here on. So stay tuned. I have some questions for you. I have some ideas that I'll be sharing with you, and I'm head over heels. I'm super excited. Today I am going to start talking about, as I said, the vitality of our life, what gives us life and what literally sucks the life out of us. And we tackled a little bit the topic a couple of weeks ago when we started talking about our immune system, especially now through COVID times, and what can we do to help ourselves in order to not just survive but to thrive. Because there is very simple principles, and I have structured 12 of them, so we're gonna go over 12 of them. They're divided by the 8 gifts and the 4 poisons. And I'm going to be very clear. I do not believe that in health or anything else is kind of like one size fits all. I do think that different people come from different backgrounds, different ancestors, different DNAs and everything else. So I do think that something that might feel good for one person can feel very bad for another person and vice versa. So it's not kind of like, I wouldn't say it's golden rules, but I would also say that so far in my findings on my own journey, I have came to the conclusion that there's some foundations that they're pretty basic for each one of us, and then the extent to what we would take them, it's totally up to us. I do believe that whatever choices we make in our daily life, in our habits, in our lifestyle, should be something that doesn't feel like a frustration to us, but more like something that you're having fun with, something that you're playing with, something that makes you feel good, and you're not just feeling that aggravation over, let's say, like a salad. If you don't want to eat a salad because that's been put into your mind so much that if you want to lose weight or if you want to be healthy, then you gotta eat just that. I don't go by that, but every time when I stand in front of you, I share the things that I have found on my way, things that I have been able to connect to and that they have made sense for me. And I always like to talk about things that I have already tried and felt on myself. How do they go? So I'm just not talking some like empty words that have no backup, but this is my personal case. I am explaining all that because we're going to reach the part of the poisons, and it's going to include things that people get very fiery and feisty about. And I just want to say here that I am not here to make you change your life or to defend certain kind of lifestyle. I'm just sharing what my findings have been so far. So we talked about the immune system, which is actually the lymphatic system. We talked about how it is directly connected to the state of our health, of our existence, of our body, mind, spirit. To me, every time I say health, I never really think only physical. I never think about body type or ideal weight or how fit a person is. When I talk about health, I mean body, mind, and spirit, because there is no way that a person can be healthy and can be just living that extraordinary life except if we haven't managed to get it right and to balance it out on all levels. Because if on one you're 0 and on the other one you're 100, you gotta meet halfway, like it doesn't work that way. So we did talk about the immune system, how is our sewage system, the lymphatic system, how it cleans out all the toxins, all the viruses, the bacteria, all the bad stuff that are trying to take the life out of us. And we also talked about how our body has self-healing powers, and it can overcome any disease, any bump on the road, as far as we present it with the right environment. So we create that environment. And it's the same analogy as what I was just talking about, like raising my standards, upgrading my life, and all this abundance and all these manifestations happening, and my dreams coming true, and just you literally just feel upgrade. Well, it's the same thing with the body, right? When we learn how to treat it right, when we learn how to treat our mind right, and how to be kind and loving to ourselves, how to divide and recognize when something is taking the energy out of us and draining us and just making us feel unproductive and kind of like edgy or aggravated, because foods and just lifestyle choices, they affect not just the way we look or how our tummy feels today, but they also affect our thoughts, our vision, everything pretty much that has to do to vitality and with a good quality of life. So today we will continue that topic. We will continue looking into what are the little things. Hi, hey, good to see you. What are the little things that we can do in our everyday life? And trust me, guys, most of the things we're already doing. When I read it and when I listened to the whole seminar that was talking about it, I was like, that is actually so simple, and lots of the things I'm already doing, but once I'm starting to understand how to combine one with another and like what's more beneficial to you, what's less beneficial to you, it makes so much sense, and it also makes such an impact and creates such difference that it's purely amazing. Today's episode is pretty much about how to maximize our body and mind, how to create that vitality life, and how to upgrade our energy levels, how to give ourselves more from what's good for us, and how to eliminate or reduce what's bad for us. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. I love when people are chatting. I try not to look at the chat too much so I don't forget my thought, but I really love when somebody's throwing a comment, and thank you for your kind words. I'm gonna walk you quickly through what I have for the 12 principles of vital life, and today we're just gonna tackle the first 2 of them. So the 8 gifts are the gift of breathing and lymphocyzing, 1, the gift of living water and live foods, the gift of essential oils, the gift of alkalinity, the gift of movement, body movement and aerobic energy, the gift of maximum nourishment, the gift of structural alignment and maximum strength, and the gift of directed mind and heart. And then we're gonna go later on into the 4 poisons that are mostly taking life out of us, and these are the controversial for a lot of people ones. The poison of processed fats, the poison of animal flesh, the poison of dairy products, and the poison of acidic addictions. Don't freak out. Again, I'm not going to be going all vegan on you. I am vegetarian myself. It's just a choice. We're not going to be going behind the psychology at all. We're just going to go into what are the components of these things and how are they interacting with our cells, with our body, and what is raising our energies of levels of energy and what's bringing them down. So we're going to get into that, but now we're going to start with the power of vital breathing and lymphocyzing. And oh my gosh, you guys, I've always thought that vital breathing, like, what do you mean? I know how to breathe. Everyone knows how to breathe. Well, once I started listening to people and kind of like paying attention to what they were talking about, people in the medical field and people who have just overall became successful in life, all of them have to, they kind of share similar, let's say, like daily routines or the way that they see life, their understanding of what's good for you and not. Because if you're not healthy and if you don't know the basics, then, you can have all the money in the world by stroke of, like winning the lotto or like rich parents or whatever, you became a CEO and this and that. But if you don't create that foundation for yourself, like, riches do not equal well-being. Well, at least to me. So I started listening to what people were talking about breathing and proper breathing, and started digging a little bit more into it, because oxygen is the most important thing to us. Like, we can go a long time without food, we can go days without water, but try holding your breath and see how long you can go without oxygen. Oxygen is crucial for our health and for our well-being. Oxygen is, we talked about a few episodes ago, our cells are powered by oxygen. If we do not inhale, if we do not allow the proper amounts of oxygen, our cells literally die. And I love repeating that, and I love bringing it up, because we're almost a year into pandemic, and the average person spends 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day with a mask. So what oxygen, whenever we breathe, there is a exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So when you're breathing under something, that process is not flowing naturally, like, you're not able to properly breathe all the nutrients in and to release everything that is not so good for you out. It's the same cycle and it's happening under something, so it's not we're not getting the proper nutrition. And it's super important for people to understand that, especially those who have to wear masks for extended periods of time, because you have to find a way to get mask breaks, to do whatever you have to do in order to secure your proper oxygen to your body, because that's your responsibility. And that's something that it's logical and needs to be paid a lot of attention to, because we're like, well, yeah, you know, like I'm just wearing it for a little bit. No, this can actually bring improper breathing, and limited amounts of oxygen can bring very serious and very bad consequences on the long run for your health, for your body, for everything, all the processes that are supposed to naturally function in your body. So when the oxygen is picked up by the blood, it's transmitted, and it literally provides nutrition to all the substances that are important for our healthy state or for our well-being. And the human body is largely composed by the element of oxygen. Especially water is 33% oxygen, and you know that our body is 70% water, like we are mostly water. So think about that. In order to maintain your health and to maintain your vital life, you must provide that oxygen to your cells. And how can you do that? Through proper nutrition, through water intake, through exercises and moving the body, and through stress management, because stress can definitely take you down on that and affect even the physical parts of you, and most of you know that. I have a quote here. You know, I always like to include quotes because they kind of back up what I'm talking about. This one is by Dr. Andrew Weil, and it says, it's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. Improper breathing is a common cause of ill health. If I had to limit my advice on healthier living to just one tip, it would be to simply learn how to breathe correctly. There is no single, more powerful, or more simple daily practice to further your health and well-being than breath work. So the question would be, what can you do right now in order to provide more nourishment to your body? Right now, you can learn a proper breathing. And what is a proper breathing? So the richest oxygen flow happens in the lower part of our lungs. And if I ask you to take a deep breath right now, like take a deep breath and pay attention, where is that breath going? Where are you holding it if you have to hold it? For example, I would always take a deep breath and I would keep it in the upper part of my chest, in the heart area. And then when I heard that, and they explained it, and they said that actually that whenever we keep it on the upper part, we're cutting part of the nutrition because we're not letting it flow to our lower lungs and to our diaphragm and to that part that mostly absorbs it and takes the nutrients out of it. So what would be the proper way to breathe? To expand your belly when you breathe. So you let it flow, you let that breath, imagine that breath like a light, like cleansing light, something that is coming into you and it's literally cleansing you. Don't stop it here. Let it flow all into you, like through your lungs to your belly. So whenever you take deep breaths, you open your belly and you hold it here, and then you take a deep breath out. And I learned a great exercise, which I've been trying to get myself into the habit of doing it. It's been a little bit of a struggle, but I have tactics on how this can work. So it's power breathing. What is power breathing? Power breathing is taking 10 power breaths 3 times a day. And the ratio in which you will be taking them is 1 to 4 to 2. 1 on inhale, 4 on holding, and 2 on exhale. So let's say, for example, if you're breathing in for 4 seconds, so you're taking a deep 4 seconds breath, then you're holding for 16 seconds, and then you're releasing for 8 seconds. So 1 to 4 to 2. You do 10 of these breaths 3 times a day. tell me if you don't feel a difference after, like, let's say a week. Do an experiment with yourself. What I've been trying to do is set my phone, like set an alarm. If I do my whole morning ritual, which includes meditation, those breaths are amazing during meditation time. Then do an alarm or some sort of reminder for some part during the day, whatever is good part for you. Do the 10 breaths, and then I would highly recommend, before you go to sleep, laying in your bed even, or sitting, or whatever you like to do, but before you go to sleep, do the last third series of those 10 breaths. And in my case, that eases my sleep, relaxes me, just makes me really dive in and feel better. So to me, they work. Again, I haven't quite gotten around the habit yet, but I'm working on it. And phone alarms are great for that. So do an experiment with yourself. Train yourself to do it for 7 days, for 1 week, and notice how every day, what is happening in your body, in your mind. How are you feeling after these exercises? And see if it's something that makes more sense to you, especially if you are wearing a mask all day long. Find time before work, find time in your lunch break, and find time after work to try to stimulate your body and to try to help yourself, because you have to. This cutout oxygen is not natural to us. We have never gone through something like that. Our body can only handle it for so long. So we have to assist our body. We have to create the environment. Okay, we cannot go breathe freely apparently because of COVID, whatever the case might be, but we have to do the best we can in the time that we can to try to make it up for it and to try to balance out on it. So that's something very important. Think about it, try it out, experiment with different things and see what feels right and good for you. Another thing when it comes to proper breathing and lymphocyzing is the apparently amazing benefits of rebounding. That was another thing that I kept reading from different people and in different books. Whenever successful people would talk about their daily habits and their the physical part of them, they would describe their morning routines, what time do they wake up and what do they do in the morning, what kind of like a setup do they do for the day, how do they get themselves in that higher energy, in that productive energy, and just like feeling great throughout the whole day. So apparently, one of these things is rebounding, and there's a lot of science behind this, just jumping up and down on a hi Goran, welcome, hi Megan. Jumping up and down is apparently a miracle exercise for your cells. Not only for your cells, but specifically for the cells. It's one of the best things that you can do for yourself. And I was thinking maybe even like, I don't know, jumping jacks or something. Why do you feel like so, I don't know, such a boost of energy if you do something like jumping jacks? I mean, yeah, like it's hard, but it's definitely rewarding. So not only that rebounding stimulates, not only that it cleanses, it helps your cells to flush out the toxins, to cleanse the system, but it delivers oxygen to your cells. It conditions the cells for cleansing, it brings cellular strength, and it just floods those cells with oxygen. Besides that, it helps your heart muscle, it helps your posture, it helps your even clarity and focus, your rhythm, your coordination, and it elevates your energy levels. So rebounding, it's like, I never gave it much thought, but it's apparently this amazing thing. And I am so happy that our new home literally came with a huge trampoline. So I was just thinking about how summertime I would create a morning routine for me when I can just start jumping up and down for whatever, 5-10 minutes, whatever it is. I want to see how something like that would go. And again, you don't need to have any equipment. Again, you can just be jumping on jumping jacks, but let's try it out and see how you feel about it. And oh, well, we have somebody who rebounds every day. I guess it's even more like more people do it than I thought. And I've been seeing in places sometimes when I've gone, and I've been hearing about people having just these little trampolines, mini trampolines, and jumping in the morning. And I was always just so curious about it. And once I read it, was like, oh, I have to do that, like how can something so simple work so much on ourselves and benefits us so much, it's incredible. And that's the key, that literally in our life, the key for well-being lies in simplicity. Whenever we reach the part of the foods, which is actually now our second part, is the gift of living water and live foods. This is also the same kind of logic, the more simple, the better. So let's talk a little bit about the water and the foods. There is a very interesting show on Netflix. It's called Down to Earth with Zac Efron. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but if you haven't, I would highly recommend it. There is a episode over there where they talk about the water. So they went to a water sommelier and they tried a whole bunch of different waters with different pH coming from different parts of the world, and they would explain how they work on the body and what are the benefits of them. And I was just mind blown. I never knew that there is so much to water, like clearly we have different kinds of water in our everyday life, and some enjoy, let's say, tap water, and other ones enjoy bottled water, like we have different tastes, but I never knew that it goes so deep. So check that show out. You will learn a whole lot from there. And that water is so essential for every living matter. Water is the biggest component in our body. We are 70% water. Again, we can go weeks without food. We can handle it. I know people who fast for 30 days. But we can only go for days without water because our body can only lose up to 10% of its water reserve for it to survive. So anything over 10%, we're done. And I read about a rule that says that we should be drinking half of our weight in ounces in water every day. So let's say that you're, for example, 200 pounds, then you should be drinking 100 ounces of water every day, which means pretty much a glass of water every hour. When I heard that, I also set alarms for that on my phone, but it drove me crazy on the second day, so I had to stop it. But I had to figure out a way how I can stay hydrated, because especially if you're like out and about and running errands and doing different things, if you do not carry a water bottle with you, forget about it. You can easily have a glass of water in the morning, and the next time you remember to drink water is in the night. And so many times our mood, our body, when we feel hungry, when we feel edgy or aggravated or tired, is just we're being dehydrated. If we constantly drink water, I try to keep myself to 3 to 4 liters a day. I found a bottle that is 1 liter, so I can kind of measure it and stay on track. But if I lose the sight of my bottle, I just don't drink water, and definitely right away it affects me and I can feel it. So I would suggest find your water bottle. Everyone has water bottles today in the day. So happy that people are environmentally friendly on that point of view and eco-friendly. I would highly suggest you to avoid any kind of plastic bottles and water coming from plastic. Choose glass. Shake your water bottle. I've mentioned that before. Shake your water bottle every time before you drink it, because that ionizes the water. And squeeze a lemon, throw a lemon in your water every day, because lemon is not only great for oxygen in the body and in the blood, but also it helps flush out those toxins and those bad things in you. Lemons are amazing. And I have told you about my friend Junie, who is here, that she is one of the people who doesn't enjoy the taste of water. So fruits and vegetables can be so beneficial to you to add to your water. Or then if you just cannot come around the fact of let's say the habit or just not the enjoyment of drinking water, then you can make up for that and compensate it with water rich foods, and we're just about to get into them. But I have an exercise for you, and whenever it was my turn to do it, it caught me in a moment that kind of like shocked me a little bit. It was almost like a wake-up call and or a slap in the face in that day. So your homework is for you to write down on a piece of paper, whatever you like, on your computer, everything that has passed your lips in the last 24 hours. Everything. Whatever you ate in the last 24 hours. Hi, Francesca. Hola. Write it down. Take a very good look at it and try to understand how a normal day looks to you. Are you leaning towards things and foods that give you life, or are you leaning towards foods that they clog you and don't make you feel good? And when you have it all broken down, try to estimate what percentage of your diet and your everyday is consists of live foods that give you life, foods that are closer to the source. So and water-rich foods, because water is so important. So which ones are water-rich foods? That's broccoli, celery, spinach, watermelon, grapefruit, lettuce, tomatoes, strawberries, blueberries. All these fruits, they're high in water. So even if you're failing to keep up your 3-4 liters a day, half a body weight, whatever, in whatever way you decide to do that, then maybe try to involve more water-rich foods in your diet so you can balance out and you can have a body that and mind that is properly functioning. And we should always try to source our food from as close to earth and to the source that we can. More natural foods should be present in our diet, because when food is processed, it's dehydrated and the water is stripped out of it. I didn't know too much about it, but it makes a lot of sense. So always go more for fresh foods. Try to keep your diet 70%, at least 70% of water-rich and live foods. And this allows your body to cleanse itself. You're helping creating that environment, and you're helping your cells to recover and to fight any kind of disease or virus or whatever is coming at you. So imagine a standard Northern American diet is only 15%, consists of only 15% of live foods. That's literally suicide. When 85% of what you eat is processed, you're setting yourself for failure. So they're not nice things to hear, and they're not nice things to say, but these are things that they're literally saving lives. And why do we have to wait until we become sick or that we come down with heavy issues and problems in order to us to start changing our life, right? Like we can gain just basic knowledge and understanding and then avoid the process of getting sick. And again, I'm not telling you eat lettuce every day, eat only tomatoes, like don't eat chicken or whatever. Eat whatever you like, but try to understand what nourishes your body and try to include as much as you can from it. And a good way to do that, a good strategy is every time when you reach for something, for food, ask yourself the question, will this cleanse me or will this clog me? That question is heavy, and it's sometimes you don't really want to ask yourself that question, and you're like, it's just that one time. That's okay. If you feel the need to do it, go ahead, but don't let it turn in that one time into everyday thing, an often thing, and just don't try to lie to yourself and to be blind to the things that you know are damaging for you. Nobody's perfect. We would always be reaching out for a cocktail or a coffee or, a hamburger, whatever people like. But focusing on keeping life into our plate, in our life, in our mind at most times, at least 70-80% of it, then that's what's going to make the difference. And again, I told you, that is super simple. It's nothing out of this world. It's nothing scientifical that we gotta really go into depth. It's very easy. we each know what's good for us and what's bad for us, and it's each one of us conscious choice if we want to live a better quality of life or a lower and less energetic and just, you know what, like shitty quality of life, to be honest. So there is so much more to talk about these things, but because they're very long topics, I told you guys I'm gonna break this down into mini series, and I'm just gonna talk about few basics, just enough to give you an idea of what I'm trying to present, to send a little bit of a message out there. And even if there is just one person that finds something interesting or something curious about it, and then want to go and do their own research and kind of like feel into what feels good and what not. Hi Heather, thanks for coming. Then that's all I'm striving for here. So to wrap it up, what can we take from today? Proper breathing is very different than breathing. Remember the power breaths 10 times a day, 10 power breaths 3 times a day in the ratio 1 inhale to 4 hold to 2 exhale. Once we start helping ourselves and get that oxygen flowing, then we start feeling better. And if there is something already malfunctioning inside of us, which there is some sort of even a minor illness or something that doesn't work in each one of us. So again, it's our responsibility to create an environment and to help ourselves to balance out and to become more on the good side than on the bad side. Power and proper breathing and living water and live foods. At least 70% of your diet water rich and live foods. It's pretty basic, it's pretty simple, and it's pretty delicious. There is nothing better than eating fresh food. As a matter of fact, yes, Heather, you know a lot about breathing also, and I'm so happy that there is so many people who jump in here who are kind of on the same path, because my favorite thing is to, you know, help each other and comment on each other and give each other little techniques. So that's something that's really working for me. Maybe some of you are already doing it and are familiar with that technique, but if you aren't, give it a try. I promise it won't disappoint. And I'm about to finish and just rushing to the grocery store, because with the whole move and just it's been so chaotic in the past week that I've been operating on mostly takeout food. And as much as I try to keep it on the good side, it's still, there is a lot of difference, at least to my body, when I eat out, even if it's like vegetables or whatever it is, and when I cook my own food. I like cooking my own food. I enjoy it. I once in a while like eating out, but it's not, when it becomes few days in a row, I can just feel my body not feeling good and a little clogged. So I'm rushing to the grocery store now. I want to get like fruits and veggies and go on a few days of just literally fresh food, nothing processed. Next time, we're going to be talking about the power of the essential oils and alkalinity. And when we reach that part, especially about the alkalinity, we will talk about the fruits and vegetables, especially diet heavy on fruits, how beneficial it is to us. So stay tuned. Come back next Wednesday. And I really hope that you're finding a little something. I always say that because I want to give you guys gratitude for you investing your time in me, in sharing your thoughts, throwing me comments, and just being here. That means a lot to me. Thank you very much. Also, I will need to hear back from you. I have a little bit of a survey prepared for you because I am working on a few ideas of how can I, in a most efficient way, deliver this information and message to you that doesn't go overly extended lives, because people, when I understand when people jump on a live, they usually for quick 15 and 20 minutes. And as you know, I tend to talk a lot. So I have few ideas I'm going to be sharing with you. Please give me your honest feedback whenever I start asking you questions, so we can create something together that it would be beneficial for you, for me, and for everybody who is in some sort of a quest of better finding themselves, searching for a better, outstanding life, improved quality of life, and just more enjoyment. I'm all about enjoyment of life, and in order for you to enjoy life, you have to feel good, because when we're sick, we're not enjoying. So we gotta help each other, and we gotta help ourselves, and I really hope that you were able to find a little help today. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for letting me host you in my new space, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Bye bye.